Alastor gave himself up to Vox in the latest episode of Hazbin Hotel. Let's talk about it. In episode 4 of Hazbin Season 2, we got a look at Alastor, the radio demon, and his backstory. We found out he sold his soul to Rosie whilst he was still alive, so that he could be the most powerful demon when he got down to hell. He's been under her strings ever since, and it's even why he's been hanging around the Hazbin Hotel. Though we don't quite know why that benefited Rosie at the moment. She's even behind his 7-year disappearance, though it does happen to tie in with the exterminations beginning and Lilith also disappearing. So I'm inclined to believe that they're connected, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Instead, I want to talk about why Al gave himself up so easily to Vox. I've seen people say that he did it purely to save Nifty's life from Valentino as he was about to shoot her, but I have to disagree. I know that he cares for her deeply. Literally the only thing in his room that's out of place and decorative is the roach crown that Nifty made him at the end of season 1, but I still don't think that's enough for him to subject himself to so much humiliation and abuse from his ex-situationship. I think Alastor knows something about soul contracts that we, the viewers, don't. And it's something that was hinted to in the last episode when Alastor and Rosie were having tea. Al tried to tell Rosie that he wanted to quit working at the hotel, and she effectively said he couldn't because she was still upholding her end of the deal. Therefore, she's implying if a soul holder doesn't uphold their end of the deal, the soul's owner can just walk away? Or at least it seems like that's what she's saying. If that is the case, all Alastor needs to do is make sure he's not the most powerful sinner in hell, and then he can break free from Rosie's strings. And how better to ruin his reputation than by surrendering himself to Vox and the other Vs. By doing this, not only is he restricting the tasks that Rosie can actually make him do, but he's also making sure everybody in the Pride Ring knows what's happened. I understand that his power isn't inherently built upon other people fearing him, but he did imply that the fact that everyone's not fearing him is affecting him badly. So maybe it is linked, and I just don't understand how his powers work at all. But yeah, maybe by making everybody around him think that Vox is stronger than him, will then actually make him weaker, and this will shift the hierarchy. Alastor specifically requested 2 terms when surrendering himself up to Vox: that Nifty and Husk could go back safely to the hotel, and that Charlie would be left alone. I think while some of the first condition is just because Alastor does love and care for Nifty and Husk in his own twisted ways, I do think part of it was to ensure that someone knew what had actually happened, because Vox Tech were surely going to twist how this surrender had happened. And he wanted Charlie to remain safe because he's still owed a favor by her. And you might be wondering, why hasn't he used his favor to break out of Rosie's contract? She's the princess of hell. Surely she is someone who can do stuff about soul contracts. Well, honestly, I think that he was probably planning this. And then he got injured in the fight against Adam, and he's not been healing because the angelic wounds just don't seem to heal. So now I'm sure he'd rather use that to try and maybe get Lucifer to heal him, because I'm sure Charlie could persuade him if the favor was made. And now he needs to fight this contract in another way. From Alastor's perspective, the V's will be much easier to free himself from than Rosie, as he can take pretty much any form of action against Charlie as them breaking their word. I do fully believe that Alastor intended this outcome of him ending up as Vox's prisoner. He's hating every single minute of it, but I'm pretty sure he was aware that Vox would humiliate and abuse him in these ways because he knows the guy, and I'm pretty sure he is prepared to deal with that for the outcome, because that will benefit him massively.